Welcome to the Escape with Nick and Adam, where we talk about entertainment, action figures, science fiction, pop culture, and everything nerdy. My name is Nick.
And I'm Adam West.
And we are joined by Jay. Welcome back, Jay.
Hi, thanks for having me, guys.
And we are talking about Black Adam, and Adam is so excited he's knocking crap over. So,
Yeah, Black Adam was awesome. Let me just technical difficulty there. She's wearing a green kryptonite suit.
Yeah, you take your time there. So, tonight we're going to be talking about, we're going to review Black Adam, the movie. We're going to get into some spoilers, but we're going to pump things a little slides to let you know when we'll be talking about spoilers. But also, we're going to talk about some of the Black Adam toys. And also, Jay, you got some Star Wars toys that I see. Are you going to show those? Or
yeah,
you just
sure.
grab those just for fun? To play with
I'll play with them during the show. Why not? No, I grabbed them to show off, yeah.
Alrighty. So, and then Adam, you came up with this idea for a list. Why don't you explain what the list is that we're going to talk about later?
Okay, so there's two lists. The first one that we're going to talk about is toys we wish they would make for 2023 and going forward. The idea behind the list, the only rule is one, it could be any toy company, any toy, it just can't be made already. That's the first list. The second list that we're going to talk today is Happy Halloween, first and foremost, everybody. And I hope everybody has a happy and safe Halloween this year. Two, this list kind of signifies where we're going right now. It's the end of 2022. We're in the 10th month. We're going into the 11th. 2023 is right around the corner. So what I did is I said, well, wait a minute. Who makes the list of year-end action figures? Who's out there that I need for my collection? So maybe there's a figure out there that I want real bad, but I need this guy. Fortunately for me, that hasn't happened in this list. I got a five action figures like that. So, also, another qualifier of the list would be, I need the guy to complete my set, and so he is by default part of it. So part of the collection. Did I say that right? Maybe I said it twice. Not sure. You know.
Okay. All right. So let's get on to it. So we're going to start off with no spoilers for Black Adam. And so I'll start off with some of the apprehensions I had with the movie before going and actually seeing it. And one was I was really concerned a lot about The Rock. And I know because I kept saying, I was like, hey, Rock, can you just give us just a little, an accent, give us a little something, because I think it's no secret. The Rock is pretty much famous for being The Rock in everything that he's in. And it's like, yeah, but do we need that to kickstart the DCEU? And then just with the first trailer, I didn't like the first trailer because I thought it was be way too much like a Marvel movie. It just gave off super Marvel vibes. Where, too much humor, too much this. I was just like, eh. That being said, I didn't have an issue with The Rock at all. I thought he was very convincing. Like I said, I thought, give us some type of accent, a little some But as soon as the movie got going, I had no problem with The Rock just kind of playing it very deadpan. And one thing I remember watching after the first 10 minutes, I was like, this is definitely not a Marvel movie because there are so many people that get killed. There's the first 10 minutes, I'm just the first big action sequence, I was like, holy crap. But yeah, I know
there's stakes in these movies. That's what I like.
Well, there are, and also, man, I don't know if it was an intentional holdover from the Snyderverse, but they got their money's worth out of the slow-mo effects. I don't know how much. I don't know how much that actually added to the movie in runtime, but I was like, we're going hard into the slow-mo effects here. But it was, yeah, it paid off. I was okay with it, but it was a little bit if I were not a Marvel fan or a DC movie or just an action fan, I was like, it's quite a bit of slow-mo. So I know that watching the Snyder cut of the Justice League, I was like, guys, you seriously could have cut off 20 minutes of runtime with all the slow mo. Like we didn't need every action sequence to have slow mo, but
to add to your point on that about slow mo with the Justice League Snyder cut, it is awesome to see Wonder Woman being Wonder Woman, but you don't got to slow her down every time you do and like sing this crazy song. It's like, she's gonna bash this guy's head in, and you're just like, yeah, she bashed his head in.
Yeah, that was a head bashing.
And that's comic book accurate, by the way.
Right.
I do have to admit, all the other slow mos I could go without. That first one, that's gotta stay. That was
No.
my favorite.
Oh yes, I agree.
No, that every part of that sequence, I was just like, oh yeah, that's okay. I'm like, I'm good. Like this is not, oh, are they gonna take it easy with, are like I said, are they gonna be too marvelly? I was like, no, they're not. They absolutely are not. Once you stick a grenade in some guy's mouth, you're like, we're definitely saying we ain't Marvel. So,
oh my god, I know, it was crazy.
but also one of the things, like I said, from the trailer, you could tell there's definitely going to be a good amount of humor, and that was one of my biggest complaints about Thor: Love and Thunder was it was too much comedy, too many jokes, and there's a fair amount of humor in this movie. But here's the big difference: it's actually funny in this movie, and the jokes land, and I'm such a huge fan of just that super deadpan, like the drier the humor, the better. Like I don't know why, but like when you can pull off the super sarcastic, I was like, yeah, you got me. Like I actually laughed in the theater, and that didn't really happen that much in, especially Thor: Love and Thunder. But
oh my god, that movie was. But that movie did for you more than what it was supposed to do. It showed you a good time at the movies, which is really all we, what we're going for, right?
Well, that's ultimately it. That's kind of what I had written down. I was like, you know what I was? Ultimately, I was entertained. I literally, I just went, turn the brain off. I don't have to think. Like, and that's the part of like these comic book movies is like, look, they're supposed to be that mindless for the most part. Turn your brain off, just sit down, relax. And Marvel's gotten to a point where I'm like, there's so much crap in there, I can't shut my brain off. Like, if you keep drawing my attention to bad things in your movie, I have to point it out. I have to say that's stupid, that's terrible, that's not funny, that's a stupid thing to say. But with this, I was just literally like, I just sat back and enjoyed myself. It was so refreshing. Where even for a movie that's supposed to take place, I know it's a fictional city in the Middle East, and they mentioned, and you can draw parallels or you can draw strings however you want to versus how it gets political. If you really, really want to dig into that and say it gets a little bit political, like just but the surface amount, but not enough to like say, oh, this, was trying to say something. And I think it was just enough to say, yeah, I understand what you're saying, but we're not harping on it so we can move on and we can get through the story. So
they captured the essence of Black Adam by doing first of all, that's how you tell the Black Adam story. You don't tell the Black Adam story without him taking over and leading Kandar, or Kondak. Well, at the end, when he says, you're wrong, Kondak does not need a hero. It needs a protector. That's it. It meant I saw the movie Dirty Harry for the first time when I was laid off for COVID. I had never watched it. And when I watched it, I was like, this is great, but there's Die Hard. Oh my God. That's where they pulled all this from. There's a scene in the movie, just real quick spoiler alert, where they copy something from a Clint Eastwood Western. There's an homage paid to Clint Eastwood right there. But to me, The Rock played Black Adam just like Dirty Harry. Even when you managed to find the one heartstring Dirty Harry had in that movie, the answer was still, who's got to die? That's it. That was the end of it. And he played that so fucking serious. It was great. He looked like he was having fun playing Black Adam.
Yeah, so real quick, the director is Jami Colette Sarah. Not familiar with that work, but obviously stars Dwayne Johnson as, actually, what was it? Tep Adam, Aldous Hodge as Hawkman, Pierce Brosnan as Dr. Fate, Noah Centino as Atom Smasher, Sarah Shahi as Adriana Tomaz. I think that's how you pronounce it. Quintessa Swindell as Cyclone. And then you have Marwan Kanzari as Ishmael. And then the little boy was Badi Sabangi, I don't know, as Amon. So I apologize if I butcher that name. It raked in, I think it's what,
67 million.
67 to lead the box office. And I think they really did a disservice with this movie by not releasing it in the summer. I don't know the differences that they made, or maybe they were just waiting for Henry Cavill to sign on to, uh, to really ramp things up and just make sure they had their DCEU kind of settled. But I really think this would have done much better as a summer movie. I think they really did a disservice to having it play out as a fall feature.
Okay, I agree, but are you guys kind of ready to laugh real quick? You think they were afraid of Thor Ragnarok?
At the time, yes, honestly, because I think anybody really, and I've said this before, because I really think this was DC's year to really make up any room, or make up any ground on Marvel. This was the year, and that's why I was really disappointed that they pushed back so much stuff. Because I just knew that Thor: Love and Thunder was not going to be good, and I was not a fan of She-Hulk. I was not a fan of most of the things that Marvel has put out recently. I said on the Adam, we were talking on the last show, the bar was so low for this, Jay, that I said this movie just has to be better than She-Hulk right now, and it automatically will be better than anything that Marvel's put out this year.
Oh yeah, for sure. You're right. I was so pleasantly surprised with this. It was awesome. I have to say, and I don't know if I would have loved to seen it as a summer movie, because I definitely would have went and seen this and not Thor. But I don't know. I guess it's too. Maybe it just takes away from the. Maybe it just takes away from the spectating. You probably don't want to get too many of these around each other, because they'll
Right.
just kind of blend in, and nobody will want to go see any of them possibly.
Now that you bring that up, this movie totally saved October for me, because first of all, I haven't seen like Smile or anything like that. I went and saw Halloween. Fucking great idea, Adam.
The one that you could have stayed home and watched on TV.
Yeah, but I will always choose the theater than stay home and watch it on TV. I will always choose that. That's just, I love being in the theater. I could take a day off and spend it at the theater. But long story short, this saved October for me so far. I go to the theater one more time, I see Smile or I see Black Adam 2. I've seen two good movies this year in October. So.
Yeah, and that was the thing. What was it? Was it last month or a few weeks ago? They were saying like this has been the most underperforming box office in 25 years. Movie theaters needed this movie. They needed this movie to do well.
Yep.
And I'm not going to say, oh, it did spectacular and look out Marvel, but it was really like, as far as like a rock feature, I think this is the best performing opening weekend for a rock movie, which is saying something.
Yes, it is. That's correct.
But also, I wonder how much is, and I'm not even going to count this as a spoiler, but how many people are waiting to see Henry Cavill. So,
yes, thank God to our European and Latin American friends who made sure everybody knew. They spoiled the shit out of that.
Yeah, and just a quick spoiler.
I wanted to make it official that I am back as Superman.
Yeah, so in case no one's heard, Henry Cavill's back as Superman for the foreseeable future. I think this is probably the best news that DC could have done. It's a double whammy of, hey, we had a successful opening weekend for a movie, and we locked up the best Superman, essentially, I want to say on the market right now, but it's so nice to see someone who actually likes the character, wants to be the character, and wants to be true to the character. It's just so, it's so ridiculous that it's like, it'd be nice that, hey, that'd be nice to see on a regular basis. Oh, geez. Okay. Already getting that. Fantastic.
What's going on?
We're getting some stuff on chat. So,
Oh, okay.
oh yeah, for a good
Well,
time.
Yeah.
What in the world?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't know. Yeah, but they sometimes you get spam doing the live stream. So, but anyway, getting back to Black Adam, Jay, did you have any apprehensions before the movie like I did? Because it's kind of one of those things where like, it could go either way. I was like, it's more like I said, I set the bar at I really just don't. This has to be better than She-Hulk. This has to be better than the last thing Marvel has put out.
That's low.
Well, that's where we're at. That's where we're at when it comes to superhero entertainment right now.
Okay.
Don't be like, and not that there's always the natural, DC versus Marvel because, everybody's like, oh, like, okay, did Jay, and I know you're excited for King the Conqueror, but the Adam, the last, what the hell's the last Marvel
Ant-Man.
movie? Ant-Man. Thank you. I kept wanting to say Adamant. I was like, I know it's not Adamant.
Don't drink
Like
that
that.
smoke.
Yeah. I was watching that trailer. I'm just sitting there. I'm like, this does nothing for me. I do not.
No,
I don't care about this. Like, it's well done, and it's a typical Marvel trailer where you got a great song, you got some action going. I was like, I so don't give a frick about the next Marvel thing. I do not care.
that's all I said about it.
I'm such a fool. I'm such a fool.
You sucked in. Adam sucked in.
I haven't seen the trailer, but they've
Oh,
already
okay.
got my money.
Well, that's the thing.
Because I'll go. I just want to go. Like I'll go escape and see it, and it's a superhero movie.
I'll go see it. I do like Paul Rudd.
Oh, I love Paul Rudd.
And honestly, yeah. I think those two. I can't remember her name. Hope in it.
Oh,
what?
Yeah. Wow.
What's her
The
name?
actress's name.
Yes.
But yeah, I
I
like them two together. I thought they had good chemistry, so I'll probably go see it. But I was kind of hoping for a lot more, and it's just like they're not showing me much,
Well, I just even in the trailer, like I'm sitting there, I'm going to like, why are we? I was like, you're already doing stupid stuff. You have I don't remember Michelle Pfeiffer's character's name, but you have Michelle Pfeiffer who knows all about the quantum realm, and they're like, oh, we made this random thing to go into the quantum realm. And she's like, you did what? I was like, you didn't ask the person who's been in the quantum realm about making something to go into the quantum realm and some of the dangers that might be there? I was like, okay, let's play this game, but yeah. All right, but anyway.
I gotta still see it, so.
Yeah, but anyway, yeah, so let's get back to the things we have seen. So, Black Adam, guys. Jay, first reactions from seeing it.
I loved it. I thought it was really good.
I mean,
I like my apprehensions. Oh, sorry.
I say far from perfect. We're not saying this is a perfect film at all, but it's just like, holy crap! Like it was just because I always go in low, but like I said, I was just like, I'm loving sitting in the theater and watching this.
Oh yeah, I thought it was great. Like I said, I was apprehensive. Like there was some stuff I wasn't. I'm like, okay, so they're gonna overdo this with The Rock, but that was one thing. It's like he can't play Black Adam as The Rock. He's got to kind of come around a little bit. I wasn't keen on Hawkman to begin with.
Okay.
It just kind of some stuff. I just hope they didn't make it corny.
Right.
But
which
I was.
They didn't.
No.
I don't think there was very much corny in this movie at all.
No, and even the corny they did do, I really actually liked it. I mean,
probably
we'll get to it when we get to spoilers, but
yeah. So, but sorry, go on. I keep hitting.
But no,
I apologize.
No, you're fine. No, I really liked it. I'll tell you right now, his intro, man, that's to me, they got the music right and everything. That was like Godzilla coming on shore, man. I was digging that.
Yeah.
Well,
that intro was awesome.
And can we talk about the soundtrack? The soundtrack was freaking great. I think they had some Smashing Pumpkins in there. I forget the other song that they had later on. I'm sitting there. I'm going a little bit of that.
That's true.
Yeah.
Marvel needs to take a tip from them because really, when they start playing Paint It Black, Rolling Stones, it's like, wow, did that ever make sense? Unlike you're going to play Immigrant Song for Thor, not once but twice. You
In
know?
a bad movie.
Yes.
Yeah,
Sucks.
that was totally the hey, it worked the first time.
Oh my god. Poor Chris Helmsworth too.
Yeah,
Anyway.
but anyway, we're not talking about crap. We're talking about good
I
stuff.
know we all
So,
just
Adam,
the
Adam-
energy in the room just went out when you bring up those Thor movies. It's crazy.
yeah. Adam, did you have any apprehensions before the movie?
Oh yeah. I had I was more worried about how it would be received. Because and I'm glad that it's successful. It's done 140 million. Anybody wants to know overseas and all together. So that's really good for this. That means it's
Oh,
going to move. That means we're going to move forward. And okay. So then my other apprehension was I didn't know what to expect, at all, because I don't watch a lot of rock movies, but I know he brings in a lot of like people, and I'm not a big wrestling guy, so. And I don't watch the Fast and the Furious. So my exposure to The Rock is him pretty much on like his Instagrams and all that kind of stuff. I've maybe seen 3 Rock movies in my whole life. So I really didn't know what to expect. I knew what people meant when they said, is he just going to be The Rock in it? In a lot of ways he was, but he was still acting. So my apprehensions were calmed when I saw that this was going to be the first release of the next phase and things to come for DC. All of my apprehensions were ended by the time I saw how the characters were handled in that movie. You guys know what my arguments were, what I'd like to do. We don't have to get into that right now. But I was just worried that this was going to be a movie that didn't know what it was. But it clearly did.
I'd say one of the other things is we kept hearing that it was, bad screen testings, all this stuff. The things that basically sunk the Batgirl movie, and everybody's like, "Well, it's testing worse than the Batgirl movie." But and like I said, I never like to go off Rotten Tomatoes. I don't like to go off critic scores, but critically, it has been critically panned. Like it's rotten and everything. But that's why it's one of the reasons I always wanted to do like a show like this, because I always said, "Hey, critics, shove it," because most of the time they have their own agendas. Like you had people coming out and complaining that the movie was not political enough. It's like, okay, you get the F out of here because you shouldn't be allowed to even talk anymore. Get out. But that's that's what I always wanted to speak from the fans' perspective, because ultimately we're the ones who go and buy the tickets. And you see, there's, I think the audience score is like in the high 80s for Rotten Tomatoes, and the critic score is like down like in the 40s or something. I was like, this is just one of those typical where the critics wanted something, they didn't get it, and the fans were like, this is exactly what we wanted. We just wanted to be entertained. We didn't want to be preached to. We didn't want any political nonsense. We wanted to escape to the movies. We wanted to go to Kondak. We'd never been there before. Let's go see what it's about. And fans did, and they enjoyed themselves.
And yeah, you're going to be hard pressed to make let's just go with a DC movie that involves people or characters like Amanda Waller, even let's just call them out, Amanda Waller, JSA, and Black Adam right now, all these characters, not to mention the ongoing universe, without having a little bit of politics in it, because comic books are based on the issues that make us a society and make us a people. They're based on societal issues. One of the things that Marvel always sort of outshined DC with, and what they've really lost touch with, is this is my superhero. His name's Peter Parker. This is my superhero. His name's Iron Man. And he's got some problems. He's not perfect. When he goes out, he saves some people, and they all love him for it. But inside, he knows he's a human being. And they've lost that in Marvel.
Oh, 100%. I was never, just getting into some of the comic book stuff, because one of the channels I really love watching is Thinking Critical. Wes, he does a fantastic job reviewing the comics. And he's just like, I forget the one guy he has on there, but he's like, I'm done with X-Men. I am done buying any more X-Men comics. Which if I heard someone say that to me, like, hey, it's 1998. Hey, future me comes find me in 1998 says in 2022 the X-Men comics are gonna suck so bad people are like walking away in droves. I'd be like, you're out of your mind. Not a chance.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And to like how the mighty have fallen, I was like, that was the biggest thing they had going.
Yeah.
He sees a ghost. It's all
No, sorry.
rosy.
I think we have I think there's a helicopter nearby because my window's rattling. So I'm like, either one of two things. Either it's a ghost rattling my window, which you gotta do better than that, or there's a helicopter nearby and it's rattling things. So, who knows? I live by
Gotcha.
the water, so on occasion we get helicopters.
Gotcha.
But all right, let's get in let's get into the spoiler territory. So I'll get into things that I did like. Jay, you didn't like Hawkman so much. I have a special place in my heart for Hawkman because he was always one of my favorites growing up. I like the character because he's very, very black and white, and you kind of got to have that where, hey, this is either right or wrong. Because I'm that way myself, where I try and have as little gray area in my life as possibly as much as you can. But he's like, hey, either and he said in the movie, either you're a good guy or you're a bad guy. There's no in between. And that was, where they Black Adam and Hawkman really butted heads. Adam, Jay, can they just give Pierce Brosnan his own Dr. Fate movie? And just I will be the most happiest kid in the land. Because watching I don't know. Was that a metaphor for something, Adam?
Hell yeah. It was a metaphor
okay.
for hell yeah. Like
Oh.
No, I don't do dirty jokes so well when I'm in this
Hey,
facade.
we're professionals here. But yeah, Pierce Brosnan
This
as
cowl
Dr.
comes
Fate,
with a responsibility, Nick.
it does. It's not just a mask.
Yeah, I wish they would make a Dr. Fate movie. That'd be great.
But I'll even settle for they CGI the face and make him look younger. Like I'd settle for that because I think he absolutely nailed this character.
Yeah.
Oh, he was
And
awesome.
I'd love to see, they really kind of touch on sort of what his powers are. And you can kind of get he's kind of like Doctor Strange, but DC's version, but he's not really like. And they kind of mentioned like the stuff with the helmet, and you'll go mad and all that good stuff. But I was like, dude, just let Pierce Brosnan, even if they did like an HBO Max DC series for just let him be. I want more of him as Doctor.
Oh, he was great. I absolutely loved him. And actually, I really liked the interaction he had with Rock and Hawkman.
Yes.
Black Adam and Hawkman. That they played him perfectly. The whole sarcasm thing was funny as hell.
Well, that's what I said.
Was great.
There's so much. There's a ton of humor in this movie, but you know what it is? It's freaking funny. Like it works.
Oh yeah,
it worked.
Like all the interactions that Hawkman had with Adam Smasher, he's just like, later, because every time Adam Smasher do something stupid, he's like, me and you, we're gonna talk later. He's like on the jet, me and you. And that was another great thing, Adam Smasher, which Adam, we talked about where after the movie, what toys are we going to have? And we'll get into that. Some of the ones I picked up because I picked up a couple, but unfortunately, Adam Smasher's not a must-have for me from this movie. I like the character. I like the actor they had playing him, but it's just kind of like could have gone either way with really needing him or not.
I guess I'll just bring it up right now. This is the movie that's like, all right, either you're gonna keep going forward with this or you're gonna stop. And this is a good time to bring it up. As of now, I've got my 2 figures from. Anyways, I'm done buying movie figures. We're closing the gap on that, and I'm just focusing my DC collection on classics and Rebirth. But what toys would we have to have after this? I would have needed them all. That's what made me decide no.
Well, and one of the dumbest things I've ever heard was people trying to draw comparisons between the way Adam Smasher looked to Deadpool, where I'm like, I don't understand that comparison. Like they look sort of similar, but there's no like, oh, they're trying to make them look like Deadpool. I'm like, not
No, you know what
even
they're
in
talking
the
about?
list.
They're talking about the white eyes.
Yeah, but I was like, that's a
So
comic book thing.
I know, but that's so Deadpool. What and Patrick and I were talking about this actually. So what Deadpool made great is how good the white eyes worked. You know how they were
Right.
CGI'd, how he did, and how just great they looked. Well, I thought they did the same thing awesome with Atom Smasher. I thought he looked fantastic with the white
Yeah.
eyes, and to me, I wish they would do more of these, all these with white, with the white eyes, the whited out eyes. I think it's awesome.
I agree, big time.
I got this one. Guess what I'm going to do to it? He's getting wide eyed.
Yeah, he should be.
Well,
He
he
should
had,
be.
he had that a little bit, but even they did it like infrared or whatever. But I was like, they gave it to him a little bit, but I was just like, holy moly, guys! Like, there's just certain things I don't understand. I'll be right back.
Again,
All right,
oh,
but the
and
trolls.
again,
What I'll say about the trolling with that, with the white eyes and the Deadpool, is white eyes are not exclusive to Deadpool. If they
No.
did it right, if Mark Miller did it right, making Deadpool when he directed Deadpool, and they did it right, then excuse me, now the technology is there. You don't not make a good dinosaur movie just because Steven Spielberg did it his way. You copy off of Steven Spielberg.
mm-hmm.
So
No, I that's what I say. I didn't think he looked like him. I thought the white eye thing that was what we got from like the Deadpool comparison. I thought it worked great. I liked Atom Smasher. I agree with you, Adam. We were talking about this earlier. I want to see more of Atom Smasher.
I wanted
Plus,
to see.
I want and that's the thing too. I want to see all the characters like fleshed out more. I want to see him again. It's not that I don't want to see him again. I just want. In this particular instance, it was like could have gone either way. But getting back to White Eye stuff, the first time I saw it in a movie, I thought it was fantastic. Was it Batman Forever when they did it for just a second, where they had his like
At the end,
at
he
the?
says,
I was like,
I see without seeing.
yeah, I saw. I
Yeah.
was like, that is where I'm like, we need that like all the time. But
And they did it in The Dark Knight. Remember when he did the
Yes.
sonar and it popped up?
Yeah.
So what I said to Jay just when you left, okay, so Deadpool did it well. If Mark Miller did it right in Deadpool and did it really well, that's who you imitate, because
Right.
the white eyes are not exclusive to Deadpool.
no, and I was like,
No.
that's just a comic book thing. So, and maybe Jay, maybe you saw a different video, or maybe I'm just seeing it wrong. But I was like, people are trying to compare those two, and I'm like, no, you don't. That's not even comparable. I don't know why you're even trying to compare. And the one video I saw, they were trying to say that like, oh, they're trying to, Adam Smasher trying to like rip off Deadpool's look, and I'm like, you clearly don't have any idea what the hell you're.
Yeah, I didn't think that at all. I just
No.
literally the only thing, like I said, like I thought of it, that's who it reminded me of is Deadpool, as far as movie wise.
And
But I didn't think they were trying to rip anything off from. I loved Atom Smasher.
Yeah, and I'm like, first of all, if you're going into like comic books and then complain who's ripping off who, I was like, we can sit. We'll be here till the cows come home. Like who ripped off who first? So
I mean, if you feel that Adam Smasher's eyes looks the way Deadpool's eyes did, then that tells me they did it right, because
Yeah,
they
I
did it
agree.
very well, and that it was a very
Mhm.
good special effect.
well, for me. I want all my, for the most part, all my superheroes to have white eyes because that's the look I love in comic books.
If you give me that hope to dream upon, I shall fall unconscious now. I want to say something about Dr. Fate real quick, though, that we were talking.
Okay.
You guys were talking about how the jokes landed and everything, and I agree with you on how good he was. Did you guys did the heartstrings get pulled on you guys when he said, I was there the day the soldiers were shipping off for World War II and everybody cheered him? He says, but I didn't. He says, I knew the hell that waited for them and what they had to go through. I was like, oh my God.
Every
Oh
single
my God.
thing every scene he had, like I was like fixated. Like I was like, yeah. And anytime he had a scene like that, I'm like, you just keep talking. Like I said, just give me a whole Dr. Fate movie where he just talks about stuff he did, and I'm okay with it. I don't even need action. Just tell me what you did. Just narrate.
Yeah, exactly.
But also, so speaking of Dr. Fate, I thought the design was fantastic. It had the fully closed helmet. that worked for me. I loved that look, and
I
even
didn't
when
think it would, but it did.
and then
Yeah.
even when they did the glowing eyes thing, I was oh god, like more of that, please. Like the whole like that whole the white eyes thing, that whole comic, the more comic book look you can fit into a movie, I'm gonna be a gigantic fan of. But the design of yeah, Dr. Fate, I literally had like Dr. Fate and Hawkman like in the store today. I'm like, and I ultimately decided to go in Hawkman, but ultimately because I don't like the design of Hawkman overall because I like the more, like I said, I grew up with the comic version of Hawkman, and so that there's some design elements where I was like, eh. And also uh, I like the feathered look instead of the metal feather look, but
Yeah.
That's the only thing I
but
didn't dig about Hawkman was the wings.
yeah, I say it, but that's just me nitpicking. I if they try to make him look more realistic with being kind of metal, I would have liked that more. But you know what we're doing? We're having a typical nerd conversation and not bitching about how
Right.
stupid things are. So this is
Yeah.
what nerd conversations are supposed to be about.
Oh,
This is how it's supposed to be. So thank
you,
you, Black Adam. Thank you, The Rock, for actually
Yes.
letting us bitch about stupid, nerdy, nitpicky things and not about story problems.
remember when you said, remember the Terminator? That was awesome. But remember
Remember you
when
and the
you were,
Beatles?
okay, I forgot what I was going to say. Go on, move on, guys.
But, so
Yeah.
yeah, that was.
Anyways, oh, I know. Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. Oh,
When you were like,
go
either
for
there's
it.
either good or there's evil. You know,
Right.
Hawkman. There's no in
Yep.
between. When you were talking about that, and I was like, yeah, because he's Batman's the world's greatest detective. Superman's the Man of Steel, and then there's the Savage Hawkman.
Yeah, and that I would have like I said, the only thing I wanted to see more of Hawkman because I know as soon as he's going up against Black Adam, you know he's just going to get smoked. Like that's one of those like I know Hawkman's a badass, but you know you can't have him beating up Black Adam because they have to show how strong he is. I was like, but if I can get more of Hawkman just beating the snot and destroying things with
But
the mace and that not once again another nerdy nitpicky thing. I hate that the thing spun, but because I'm like it's already a mace, it's already a steel ball with spiky bits. It doesn't need to do any more.
what I love that they did about Hawkman, I'm sorry, I just wanted to, like, the one thing I loved is, yeah, he went in there and he got his ass kicked every time against, against Black Adam, but he kept coming back.
Yeah,
I absolutely love that he just,
Relentless,
he's that type. He just keeps coming back.
relentless, and
Yeah, he was
I
awesome.
yeah I don't know the actor. I haven't seen him before. I know people are like, "Oh, you haven't seen him in this?" I was like, "No." So Aldous Hodge, he did fantastic, and I know a lot of people are not necessarily upset about a
Yes.
little bit of the race change because, as they introduce a character, you like to see them introduced as the original character. But that is once again nitpicky stuff because one of the nice things about and Hawkman, Doctor Fate, these are mantle characters that you can switch, so it's easy. Say, hey, it's this person playing this and this person playing this, and that's why so many people get frustrated with what they're trying to do with Superman and Batman. Those are not mantle swap characters. I can't exactly give you a definition of why they aren't, but it's one of those things where you just look at it and say, no, you can't do that. But
there's not there's maybe one breakaway on that level. That's Miles Morales Spider-Man. That's it. And Wally West Flash, and that's just because things get confusing without the original around. But these two had a great fan base. But on Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, no. Captain America is Steve Rogers.
yeah, there's just certain characters where I'm sorry, that character is the character. There's no mantle swap. So like I said, once again, that's just a nerdy nitpicky thing, but that's one of the things I love about those characters are, hey, for some odd reason they like, okay, we're getting into spoilers. They killed Dr. Fate. Dr. Fate's dead. They need a new Dr. Fate. I can't wait to see who they bring back as Dr. Fate.
There's a couple choices too. There's lots of them.
Yeah. So. And that's people are like, oh, they're not bringing back as a girl. Be like, It's in the comics, so whatever happens. But
Yeah, that happened 40 years ago.
yeah, but at the same time, I don't care as long as they cast someone not as good as Pierce Brosnan, but that's your competition now. That's you move on from Pierce Brosnan, but like whoever follows up better be good.
Yeah.
One of the things,
Megan Fox.
Megan Fox for anything, I'm okay with that.
I'm just kidding.
But one of the things I really liked was the younger characters were allowed to be young, and one of the things one of the funny things is Adam Smasher's character. He's just like constantly trying to flirt with Cyclone and because you know what? That's what a young guy does. He's just like, hey, pretty girl, like you're the only pretty girl around, so I'm just gonna flirt with you because that's how guys are. And there was no like, oh, like you're a dumb guy or none of that. She was just
she liked him.
She liked him, and it's not. And here's the thing: it wasn't even romantic. They didn't even go down that road. They just went with two young kids that were flirting a little bit back and forth. That's as far as it had to go. They didn't have to, she didn't have to put him down. He didn't have to be a complete moron. You just saw. I think every man, especially a little bit older like us guys, were just looked at it as, yep, that's what a young guy would do. Yep, I did that.
Yep.
I remember one time in a youth group, I actually watched a teenage boy actually flip in front of a girl just to get her attention. I'm just like, that's what a guy would do, just to try and get a girl's attention. He would just do something stupid like a flip, and yeah. But that was just nice to see. Where
get that phone number.
Yeah, trying to get that Snapchat, trying to get whatever.
Yep.
But it was nice, like there was no guy bashing, there was no woman, trying to prop women up. They just let the characters be themselves, and it was just so refreshing. I'm like, there's just none of the crap that we've frankly become accustomed to in Marvel stuff.
No, I couldn't agree more.
Yay!
I've been a little slow on that. Guys, I forgot that I had it.
It's like I forgot I could do stuff on our end.
Yeah, I kind of feel like a joke.
So, one of the things I think, so get into not bad, but once again, getting into nitpicky storyline things. I don't think the storyline between Hawkman and Dr. Fate was fleshed out enough. I could have done with at least a couple flashback scenes to see them, why they're so tight, why they are such a team. And that was the other thing too. It's nice to see, and that's where I get so frustrated with Marvel. We're like, everything's Avengers now. Everything's got to be Avengers or this. I was like, they're like, no, we're the Justice Society. And people are like, who? Are like, we're the Justice Society. That's all. That's all there is to it. Just this is what we do. Be like, who are you? Be like, don't worry about it. We're the Justice Society.
There hasn't been a big level for threat for us to do anything about. What about that whole Zod thing? We weren't around back then.
Yeah, like we were busy.
Dr. Fate was around. Dr. Fate was like, I'm smart enough to know that someone else is going to fight this.
I saw Superman had that handled.
Yep. Wow, that was a good Pierce Brosnan, bro.
Yeah, hey.
Yeah.
I say one of the not saying the best, one of the best Bonds. So one of my favorites anyway. Did you guys have any criticisms of things that like you would have liked to have seen a little bit more, or maybe things that you didn't like so much in the movie?
Jay?
No, it wasn't bad. The only thing I wasn't too keen on the whole gladiator scene. When I say gladiator, when he goes back to his family, it's not your time yet. So when you get him at the beginning of the movie and how just fucking evil and like just hell bent on I'm gonna go after anybody that even comes near me. I wish they would have stayed with that through the movie. They kind of strayed from that at the end there with that, and then how he's sitting on a throne. This ain't right, To me, when you talk about Black Adam, he's going to be a ruler, all right. Yeah, he'll protect you, but he's still Black Adam.
As long as you don't cross him.
Yeah, don't cross him, or else you're screwed.
I'll tell you one thing. one thing I wasn't a big fan of. I didn't like that he had such a connection to the kid, where it was like, oh, everything he did was based off the kid. I was like, that doesn't seem like something Black Adam would really give a shit about. Where it's like, if it, they kind of not play two sides necessarily, but they kind of said, well, yeah, he's the protector, but also he really cares about this kid for some reason. I was like, buddy, you know,
No.
care about the kid.
No.
And I know, like, hey, that's one of the the mechanisms in the movie so that they can make a few things work. But
I don't know if he'd let an innocent boy die.
no, well, especially not a from not a
Kondak.
Kondak.
Yeah.
I keep on to flip it around, but Kondak. So very cool scene. I really like the scene where they imprisoned him and they actually got to see like the underwater prison. I thought that was really cool. I
just wanted to see more of the.
I was like,
did you guys
look and trying to see who's in? I was like, who's that? Stop panning.
Yeah.
Who's that? Yeah.
Who the fuck could it be?
I want to see
We've
more.
seen all the movies.
That's kind of, I was like, I was like, that's a good point. That's a lot of people. Who is that?
I got a feeling that was the old regime saying, remember Indiana Jones? Which one was that? When they showed the warehouse where the Ark of the Covenant went? We should do that.
Let's do that.
And then comic books are real. I know comic books are real. No, I mean like the shit that we just wrote. Yeah. Rebirth exists. It doesn't make sense because it's the source material living in the world. Pulled me right out of the movie each time. Yeah, I really wanted to punch baby Hitler really bad. like maybe I don't got the guts to kill you, little kid, even though I should. But I'm definitely gonna punch you for a few reasons.
Damn it, baby Hitler. But yeah, that didn't bother me too much. That just kind of said, hey, the kid, but if they're gonna show kids with comic books, I mean, might as well make it a DC book.
Then you go watch 10 seasons of a fucking show called Smallville and you say, oh, Warrior Angel's supposed to be Superman. I get it. They're reading Warrior Angel comics. You make it up.
Okay,
that's
so
the only way. That's the only way. I'm sorry.
That's fine. That's
sorry,
fine.
not
That's
sorry.
A point for you. That's fine.
Boy, that was
not a point for me.
I really let the fucking the fizz of the pop come out of the bottle that time. I just really that has bothered me so bad. So bad. And you're right, Jay. It did kill me with Logan. They thought all the old X-Men Excalibur comics and all that stuff were, this is where we have to go. Oh no.
Yeah. Like, we just dumbed it down. Oh no.
Yeah. Yeah, you really made it.
But hey, at least he didn't pick up be like, is this you? He didn't do any of that shit. So I just thought, be like, hey, he's a kid who likes superheroes. So that's why he's the way he is. Like, that's one of the reasons when they bring him on the ship and he put a little cape on him. That was.
I get it. You know where I'm coming from on it. I don't have the
problem. I get it.
I think what they did was brilliant. I don't think that was a commercial. That was just weird product placement, Jay, break the damn scene down, please, for us. Jay can break the scene down where he's going through the kid's room and he busts up every DC.
Oh, yeah. No, he doesn't bust up every DC. That's what it is. If you look, so they strategically destroyed some, a lot of the posters. So, like two that I can think off the bat that you didn't get to see destroyed is number one is Batman and number two is Wonder Woman. Right. But he burned Superman's face off. Flash got cut in half by one of Hawkman's wings. You see the DC Rebirth figure, the statue fall, but you never see it break. But yeah, was there a green? I'm trying to think. Was there? I thought there was a Green Lantern one up there. There's another one that got busted up too. Maybe when he just walked through the wall.
Yeah. But that's another thing. Like the way that they did that whole scene where he's literally just walking and everything just starts crumbling, and the guy's sitting on the couch. Guy's sitting on the couch looking back.
They didn't have doors in your time? Yes, they did. That's what we used to enter rooms. At least they addressed. At least he had like totally addressed it. Yeah, we had doors. I just don't give a fuck about your shit.
It's just like, F,
And I'll tell you
F
right
your
now,
walls.
Yeah.
was it not the coolest whenever they have him flying like upright like that? I love that when they had him just kind of cruising through. It's like, dude,
Well,
don't fuck with that guy.
And I just want to be like, how much of the budget was spent on just having him float? Like he's just
Yeah, right.
half the time
For
he's just
sure.
sitting there floating. I was just like, that's what I would do. Like I have no leg muscles because I would just be floating constantly.
I want to know what idiot realistically, even if he had, I don't care if he had a friggin' bazooka. Why would you shoot at that? There's no, honestly.
I
Come on.
always wonder. I was like, so we've already fired 1,000 rounds at him and haven't done anything. But this one, I'm gonna try. I'm just gonna keep going with it.
Maybe I'll throw the gun at him and that'll do something.
Well,
I'm
Yeah,
out of
there we
bullets.
go.
I'll throw the gun at him.
yeah. Well,
If
and then
that's
they
your
had-
last resort, I mean,
Yeah, and then they
Oh.
had the Eternium weapons. I was like, all right, okay, so we're just putting
Okay.
Eternium into weapons. That's very much. See, I think that was a bit of a rip from, the Captain America movies with the Tesseract to power all the Hydra weapons and stuff like that. So I was like, all right, let's do that.
a little fast on that. Yeah, you're
Yeah.
right. They did that a little fast. Not enough development. Because even with the Tesseract, you had already seen the Red Skull develop weaponry. He was going to overthrow Hitler, and he was going to overthrow the world.
Well, he was
Then
going
the movie
to
ends.
win World War II. Yeah,
Right, and then the movie ends, and we all know what happens with Steve Rogers, and then Avengers picks up, and he unthaws them. Then you find out that S.H.I.E.L.D. has weapons made from the Tesseract, Tesseract powered weapons, and it really kind of like is one of those things. Well, what are we any better than? Blah 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 blah. But see what I'm saying? It took a lot of foundation for the
Yeah.
Tesseract power than there was for this Eternium stuff.
Oh yeah, it was multiple movies, but
yeah.
well, one of the things. So, Adam or Jay, what do you guys actually know about Black Adam and how accurate that is versus what was in the movie, from his son being killed to how he got his powers and that whole thing? I didn't do the research on it. That's my bad. But how comic accurate is this movie?
I don't know the answer to that question. My closest comic accurate comes from Jeff Johns' latest, well, not latest, but his Doomsday Clock, which was his follow-up to Watchmen.
Mhm.
And Kandar is where Superman and Dr. Manhattan end up, I think, having their final stand or something, or it comes close to that. But basically, it does come down to Black Adam and Kandar versus the world. And it's really breathtaking because Dr. Manhattan has been screwing around with the multiverse. He has created the new 52, and then he takes it away, and he has this vision. And in the vision, it's him and Superman. And he says, as soon as it's over, I see nothing else. So either Superman destroys me in attacking me, or I destroy everything, destroying Superman. He doesn't know what the outcome's going to be. One of the two things has to happen. And what's going on is you think that Superman's coming at him when you finally see the big reveal. That's spoilers, guys, but this is really worth it. You think, but then you see all the evil, not the evil, but the Black Adam-led people coming back. They're about to attack Dr. Manhattan, and Superman blasts in, and he protects Dr. Manhattan. And he said to Dr. Manhattan 5 minutes before that, he says, "Why won't you help me?" And he says, "Because I don't help you. I've already seen this. There's nothing I can do. I don't help you, Superman." And then Superman saves him when he comes at him. He says, "Why did you save me after all of this horror that I've done? I've killed your parents. I brought your parents back, all this stuff." He goes, "Because there's always a third option. There's always hope. Help me." And that's when he said, "Oh my God, this is why in every calculation, my world never survives. The doomsday clock always goes off. The nukes always happen. We have no Superman. But in all of these other realities, there's Superman. And here I stand against the multiverse's greatest antibody." And he finds out that that's why his world must always die because there's no Kal-El.
So you don't know.
I don't know, but that's a great story, right?
Well done, sir. Well, to sum it all up, we don't know.
God, I love that story.
I have not read any Black Adam comics, so I got no idea how close
Me
it is.
neither.
Well, that was always the thing too. Where I'm like, why would you choose Black Adam to kind of be your pushing off point for the new DCE moving forward? And Adam, you were saying, yeah, it's kind of it did okay financially. I was like, the finances for this movie had nothing to do with it. This was the starting point. This is where everything starts from here on out. And we had that announcement that Henry Cavill's back, and I don't know how many movie deal he has, but I would sign him to a lifetime contract. Be like, you are Kal-El. We're changing your name from Henry Cavill to Kal-El. That's simply this is just how we're gonna do. And once you actually get the gray sideburns and a little bit in, that's when we're gonna shoot Kingdom Come. It's gonna be great.
And we won't do to Kingdom Come what we did to the Nick. You're a genius.
No. Thanks.
Now we need Ben Affleck back. CJ, we could do Kingdom Come right. We can do Kingdom Come.
No, that's where you use Michael Keaton.
Okay.
Because he's got to have that exosuit because he's so old.
Oh,
Batman can't move like he used to. So there you go. Now we have a reason for Michael Keaton, besides Batman Beyond.
Yeah.
Did you ever see Kevin Conroy in the exosuit? He actually played live action Batman in the exosuit. He did it in Crisis on Infinite Earths on CW.
Oh yeah, I haven't watched that yet.
Wasn't bad for a TV thing.
Yeah. So,
actually, it's funny in the theater. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, you're good. I wasn't sure where to go.
Funny.
So you keep going.
Oh, there's one other little Easter egg they put in there too, because Hawkman is pretty much the key for Barbados opening up from the dark multiverse into
That's true.
Our universe, and it's Dark Knight's metal. And Patrick and I in the theater, it was so funny when they were explaining the jet and stuff, and she goes, "This is all nth metal?" And Patrick and I literally looked at each other and go, "Did she just say nth metal?"
Sure did.
Yeah, we were really excited about that too. Hawkman and nth metal was the Court of Owl's key to opening up the multiverse for Barbados.
And what a way to make nth metal work. You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, I'm not sure how accurate that is to the comics, but that ship looked badass.
Oh no, that sir is very comic accurate. I don't know about its aesthetic totally, like they might have taken some liberties, but yes, It's made of nth metal. Everything that Hawkman is about is nth metal. That's nth like metal. His whole people. Yeah.
That's why he can even attempt to go toe to toe with Black Adam. So.
Yeah.
That's why his mace is so wicked. Yeah.
So, all right, guys, let's wrap up the movie review. How do you feel about the DCE moving forward?
I feel like they're announcing without saying it by just showing us this movie, giving us Henry Cavill, and telling us that much. I think they're saying, okay, we're steering the ship in the right direction now. I mean, this was us and the old. No, you're just gonna get us now with the new DCEU moving forward. And when I say us, I mean the new regime.
Well, and it's such a, like I said, it's just such a weird spot to really pick because no normies know who Black Adam is. Very few normies will know who Hawkman is. No normie has any idea who Dr. Fate is. But I'm in such a positive place where I'm so damn excited. Like I said, I want more of everything that was in that movie. The end. I want more Dr. Fate. I want more Hawkman. I want more Black Adam. Obviously, more Superman. But like, more Atom Smasher, more Cyclone. Adam, I think you nailed it pretty well. We were talking on the phone where Cyclone was very much the rat catcher 2 in Suicide Squad, where she's the heart of the movie. Where I was like, and you can actually say that where there was actually heart in that movie, in the DC movies. And I think just moving forward, I am incredibly. I'm very excited.
I mean, my gosh, you got people getting slaughtered by Black Adam, and that you can still say you have some innocence with Atom Smasher and Cyclone, and it's retained, and it's well kept. One other thing I think that this movie fucking nailed. You got Black Adam, right? And then you got the woman, doctor, I can't remember her name in the movie, but she released him and she wanted him to she did not become his love interest at all. Not even maybe a friend, but that's it.
I hate when
I did like that. Yes.
It's such a trope where I was like, we have a man and a woman, or we have whoever, and we're gonna make him fall in love. Be like, no, we ain't got time for that.
Right.
Like,
we don't.
We got things to save and people, things to kill. Like, let's go.
And when the JSA said, listen, your guy is not a good guy. This is what happened. We have actually stuff that we haven't. She rethought her position.
Well, and that was kind of a nice thing because they left, the very beginning where they have the battle between, Teth Adam and the king, and they're like, oh, it went down like this, and they're like, no, it did not. He fucking was there to murder that guy. That was not like, oh, it's a big epic thing. He's like, no, I'm here to kill you, and that's the long and
he
short.
Ended up killing everybody,
and then he killed everybody again, and then we're just all like, yes, let's go. Kill some bad guys.
It was great. It was great.
That was just one of the nice things. We'd be like, there's no like, oh, who's the good and who's the bad. Be like, these are bad guys and these are heroes, and we're gonna have them. It's like when you're a kid, you got like action figures, like, and now we fight, and it's very, these are the bad guys, and they're gonna lose, and they're probably gonna die in a very terrible way, and I'm gonna sit here and be like, I enjoy this.
Hey, so what if, like, in the Batman #3, the Court of Owls arise Barbados, and then the multiverse gets cracked open, and then you can bleed everyone in through that, and now you got, like, anybody?
Oh, yeah, I'd love it, but
it will never.
That's probably one of my.
I mean, if think about it, Matt Reeves with the Batman universe, and Zack Snyder with the DC Snyderverse doing Dark Knight's Metal together.
Oh, I'd love to see it. Then maybe we'll get Spawn and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in there too.
This is such a very good.
Since Zack Snyder would get a second round at it.
Yeah.
Hey, and I brought this up in a forum because someone's like, who should direct? If they did a Last Ronin series, who directed? I was like, Zack Snyder. Zack Snyder would freaking kill the Last Ronin.
Yes,
that would be epic.
I would. To be honest, I would love to see Scott Snyder start writing movies too. Oh my god! I think some of these would be awesome.
Was it him or Jeff Johns that was really pushing hard to become the next? Because Jeff Johns went into the TV, right?
Yeah, it was Jeff Johns. I'm actually. I know we were going to bring that up later. I'm glad that they. No, I'm glad it wasn't Jeff Johns. I'm glad it's not Jim Lee either. I'm sorry, these guys aren't Todd McFarlane's and
no. Well, and that's a, and I got to the point, where we've bitched about DC and everything going on there, where Jim Lee's literally just like, dude, I just want to retire. Like, I just want to draw shit. Like, and that's about it. Yeah. He's so done being like the boss, where he's just like, and I don't think he was ever really suited to be the boss, the head guy, where he's just a super creative, super, talented guy. And sometimes those guys just put in positions they should not be in. And I think he's like that. And he's just like, he's got to be close to 60, if not 60, where he's just like, I just want to draw a couple things here and there and move on with my day.
Yeah, indeed.
All right, Adam, let's move on to the toys. I'll let you go first because I have to go let my dogs in. So you got your.
So we're gonna bring up the Black Adam. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, great. I'm going to bring that up right about now. The Funk Soul Brother. Check it out now. All right, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to share my screen here. Let me know, Jason, when you can see my screen.
I can see it.
All right. Fantastic. All right, here we go. This is it. Black Adam from DC Multiverse. and Mcfarlane Toys and the Escape Podcast. So, oh, that's my Harley Quinn statue. What the fuck? All right.
I was gone for 2 seconds.
What?
I knew that was gonna be. Oh God, I knew something like
What?
that was gonna be.
Oh, shit. What did I
Like
do?
the text with Elvira.
I had to. It's Halloween. It's time for boobies. I don't know why, but it
What?
is. What? All right, so here we are. Teth Adam, Black Adam, DC Multiverse with the throne. So the articulation, he's got the diaper kind of booty mechanism thing going, so he's hard to sit, but you can position him so that he does, look good. I tried to give you like a double shot here.
How do you feel about
throne.
that throne?
It's okay.
It's not from the movies.
It's not from the movie. I don't know what it's from, to tell you the truth, but it's just a plastic shell. That's what it is.
I know, but I was just like, if it's from the movie, why wouldn't you make it from the movie?
I don't know. Was it the?
I'm just saying. I was like, why wouldn't you make because you could make a really badass, set piece out of it, which it is, but it's not from the movie.
Maybe it was. I don't know. You're right. If you say it's not, I can't remember it at the movie either. So yeah. But what do I think of it? I think it looks cool.
Yeah, it looks cool as hell.
This head sculpt is nuts. It looks very much like Dwayne The Rock Johnson. I think they captured his likeness pretty well. So as we move on here we go with there's Harley Quinn. She's more decent now. Here she is a full on look. Little closer up here. Look at the details that we can see in his belt. I love the way his belt has that wash on it. I think he looks pretty worn, rusty, kind of a deal. I just think this is a very good figure. The shoulders are a bit much. You know what I mean? They could have.
He's pretty jacked.
Yeah. I think really, though, right here, if you can see my mouse, I think I just need to kind of pull those sockets out a little bit more. They won't look that way as much. Because, they have those inner cups for the shoulders of these Mcfarlane toys. Oops, here he is next to the Big Blue Boy Scout. So there they are posing. And there's Black Adam pissed off because he stole his look. He goes, I'm the man in black. So no more of this black Superman bullshit. Here he is next to the DC Rebirth Black Adam, whose cape I kit bashed from another Black Adam figure from the New 52 line 2012 with the fire effects. And so as you can see, he has said, I am the comic man. There will be no more movie action figures around here. I am Black Adam. And then this guy shows up and he's like, hey, I'm his drunk idiot cousin. And he took my cape. And,
Go back for a second, please.
Sure. Right here?
Yeah. So do you follow, is it Rob D Toys on Instagram?
Who? I didn't hear you.
Rob D Toys.
I'm not sure. I don't think so.
He posted, he kit bashed a couple, so he took the Rock's head and put it on that one. It looks fantastic.
Oh, I believe that. Yeah. I had a problem with this whole figure. I couldn't take it, even with the head and stuff, but when I put the cape on it, I was happy. It was like, I wish I would have waited for the page punchers. But then when I thought about putting this cape on, I was like, all right, I'm finally happy with my purchase. But it took a long time. But yeah, as you can see, this is the guy I took the cape from. And it kind of looks like John Barenthal beat the fuck out of it.
It looks like he's on coke.
I know, right? Yes, he does. He does. So he's like, "That's my cape. Take it off," and all that kind of shit. So and that's it. That is your Black Adam DC Multiverse. There's more than one. There's a gold label out there too, fellas, with it's his final form, so to speak. I don't know if you've seen that gold label or silver label. Whatever. I've seen pictures of it.
Yeah, so
final form with like the white cape.
I don't know if I thought I saw all of them. So I'm unboxing as going. So I'll show you the one that I chose. If I get it out of the package. He burst forth from his prison to be Shazam. No.
Yes.
But so I like the cloaked look. And like I said, the head sculpt's freaking ridiculous.
It is. It's so good.
Don't focus on me, focus on the rock. That's fine too. But anyway, Yeah, fantastic figure. Even like they said, they got like the wash here for the pattern that goes around all the way around the cape. Um, yeah, this figure is freaking fantastic. So head sculpt's great. The only thing I'll probably change, I'll probably make the chest piece more like it was in the movie, where it's kind of like somewhat gold and
Mm.
textured there. So that will probably be the only other change that I would make. But fantastic figure. This thing's cool as hell, and I like this look from this. So this is his look kind of in the beginning of the movie, and I think yeah, it's just that's badass. And then, like I said, decisions were made, and I went with Hawkman. Here.
That's
So
a great figure too.
it is.
Golly.
Okay. So here are the wings. So they actually come off in pieces, and yeah, I'm gonna have to do a little customizing to this. I'm gonna try and really, because I've got a gold, uh, like chrome marker, and I'm really gonna gold out that helmet to make it try and as shiny as possible, and probably some other accents. And like I said, I'm really gonna white out the eyes for that. But other than that, I mean, it is just a great figure. So let me put the wings on real quick here. The only thing I don't like, I would have liked if there was some articulation, like like one of probably was it my favorite figure from 2021 was the uh, Michael Keaton from the Bat or from the Spider-Man movies.
Mm-hmm.
Vulture. Yeah, so I would have liked if there was some articulation, to really let the wings spread out more, make it a little more grandiose. But just as far as posing, looks great. So
Actually, the DC figure I love the most is, as far as wing wise, is the one you gave me, Adam, the Batman Who Laughs, the winged Batman Who Laughs.
Oh, right. Yes.
That his wings are awesome because you can do that. It's just like that, like you're talking about. Not only do they peg in the back, with the rotating pegs, but they actually spread in two places, so you can spread them way out.
I'm not going to grab my Vulture that. Well, actually, you can sort of see it right there.
Oh,
So,
sure.
Actually,
the way, I mean, it's when it's fully spread. I mean, that thing's a foot. That thing's at a foot wingspan once it's all said and done.
and I'll show you. I'll show you what I'm talking about. Actually,
Yeah, wait till you see this one, Nick. This one's nice too. Wow.
Oh, yeah.
can you guys see them? Yeah,
Good
Oh, yeah.
grief.
and that's where you can see the wings how they spread out there.
Yeah,
That's great.
if they did just a little bit more, that would be my one. Yeah, damn it. I'm gonna have to make a custom Hawkman. That's all there is to him.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah,
Oh.
I need you to. I need a favor, Nick.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to put him in your capable.
I gotta come
hands.
back. Hold on.
He's gone. We've lost him. Oh, we lost him for real. I didn't even do anything.
But you can fix that, right?
Yeah, just let me know, or if you just want me to go crazy with it.
No, I just want him to be blue and red.
Right.
Yeah, very.
Well, I was
bright.
saying because we could. That dog's walking all over my toys here. And then obviously we'll have to do something with this guy because in the movie it's gold like everything else. So, welcome back, Jay.
Sorry
Welcome
about
back.
that.
So I was just saying, yeah, even the mace looks great, but it's gonna have to be gold because that's what at least I thought that's what it looked like. I don't know why they would not have it be the same color as the rest of the costume, but
There we go.
anyway,
Sorry.
no problem. So, yeah, that would be my only. This is my only real. If they could have done just a little bit more with the wings, and okay, so here's the problem I already have. So if you go to like put them up, yep, yeah, you're gonna cut his ears off. You're gonna cut the things off the head because you just get
No
that,
shit.
and it just doesn't look right. I mean, if you have them down, but and Todd will probably do something where he'll come out with another version where it's all like glorious and articulated, and I'll be angry. Not angry. I'll be happy about it. But yeah, that's a bit of a design issue for me because, like I said, as soon as you go up with that, and then this part here is too much. So there's just not a ton. All right, Jay. Time for the solo. What you
Solo.
got?
Oh,
Your toy.
oh, okay. Well, we'll go with the start. Well, first of all, I want to say real quick, because I've been talking like nonstop about this to Adam. Changing the guard, Kyle Rayner, is absolutely one of my favorite figures from DC. This thing is
Great figure.
absolutely awesome.
Good.
He finally got a fist with a ring on it.
No
So
shit. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I absolutely love it. He's got a weapon hand on the on his left and a ring fist on his right. I love
He
it.
is sweet, man.
Oh, he's super posable. I mean, and you can do about everything with him, man. And I do love that Parallax Green Lantern's lantern is perfect for him too.
Right.
So, well, I guess the ones I was going to show off here is the one I just got is their Star Wars Micro Galaxy is the toy line. It's oh god, who's doing it? Trying to see. I can't tell what toy company's doing it. That's Star Wars. It's Disney and StarWars.com. Lucas. Anyways, they're doing basically Micro Machines did these quite a while ago, and they kind of started re-releasing them with all the new universe. So I just actually picked up the Razor Crest from
This
Mandalorian.
Razor Quest is sweet.
Yeah, it's really cool, and you get the so what they did before is they made the micro figures for it. So, let me put this down here real quick. This is the size of the figures. So you got Mandalorian right here. I know he's kind of hard to see, but he's he's just a tiny little guy. But to be honest, they all have figures for them. They're all very detailed for how small they are. But a lot of the stuff you have with like the Razor Crest, the top comes out or the top comes off it. Maybe. If I can't get it off, then we'll have to do something else. Nope, I got it. The top of it comes off. You got details on the inside like your carbonite. How Mando had the carbonite frozen bounties in there. You got one of those.
Crazy cool. God, could you imagine playing with that as a kid?
Right? Exactly. These were awesome. I mean, and the price point's not bad on these.
I'd have lost the action figures in like 5 seconds.
Oh god, yeah. Oh yeah, they would have been gone.
Wasn't that the worst?
Oh, you always did.
Wasn't I the worst child? Yes, I was.
But yeah, that's the Razor Crest. I pretty much got all the bounty hunter and smuggler ships. Slave One, same thing. What I really think is cool here is, I know this is a little bit of a stretch, but when these wings, the wings fold up when it goes into flying mode, and then they fold flat or roll flat when it goes into landing mode. So,
That's so cool.
and the cockpit also does the same thing. It's really cool. I mean, again, Slave One, and then I have the Millennium Falcon too, which the Millennium Falcon is the only one of I think it's the only one that's battery operated, but you basically have the engine that lights up, starts up. You got sound effects with it. As soon as you move it, it'll do like different sound effects from the movies flying, and then you have the gun sound effect.
Gosh.
So this one comes with 4. It comes with apparently Princess Leia is going to moon us right now. But it comes with Han, Chewbacca, Obi-Wan, and Leia. So this even what I really liked about this one too is the landing gear looks really cool on this. I'm trying. Let me close this so she's not mooning us anymore. The landing gear, I thought they really get it. I might try and paint it black like it is kind of in the movies. But these side, oh, I gotta figure out which one it is. Anyways, the side ramp opens up. The whole back of this opens up actually. You can maybe not.
Shoot yourself.
Yeah, pretty much. So this is it with the back off it. You know, you got your game table in there and everything where they were playing, where C-3PO and Chewbacca were playing.
I think on the details.
Yeah, it's got a ton of stuff. The details in this are absolutely incredible. And you can, now I can open it from the top, but you can see that side ramp that opens up. So the details are great. You can fit somebody in the turret. It actually, the way the turret opens up is in the back there. If you can see that little notch.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, see?
Oh, jeez.
And you can put somebody in there. So it's, to me, these are absolutely awesome. I kind of like them because they're, you know, a little scale accurate to each other. You know, I know you're not going to get any of the big capital ships, but a lot of it's scale accurate. And to me, these are just cool collectibles. You know, that's half of Star Wars is the ships.
Well, and you're absolutely right, Jay. Because I always talk about, yeah, it's really cool to have like scale accurate things. That's awesome, but also comes down to shelf real estate. Like there's only so much shelf real estate, and those are such a great size. And for the amount of detail and the functions that they have, those are fantastic.
Yeah, I thought they were really cool, and price point isn't bad. I think there's 35 for the Razor Crest and Slave One, and 45 for Millennium Falcon.
Yeah, so it's funny you were showing that off. I completely forgot. Like I had this. It's the Force Awakens Falcon, but yeah, I haven't even opened it because I had it. I bought this because I was going to try and do a project for a friend, and it was just a little too small for what I want to do. But yeah, I'll bust that guy open one of these days too. But I don't think it has any of the functions or anything. What's that?
Shenanigans? What's that doing in the box?
Shenanigans.
I forgot.
Hey Farmer, what's that place with all the shit on the walls?
Yeah, exactly. With all the goofy shit on the wall, I was like, so it's probably gonna end up on the wall pretty soon here. But yeah, I completely, literally until like Jay brought that, I was like, wait a second, I've wanted Falcon in the box. Am I opening it?
That's awesome.
So yeah, these are like cool. This is the new rabbit hole I just jumped down.
It looks like
speaking of rabbit holes, because I just got done watching House of the Dragon, I was like, "Oh, you son of a bitch, Mcfarlane!"
Oh, you son of a bitch! I'm in.
Yeah. Oh, so yeah. Speaking of freaking rabbit holes, freaking jerk, Mcfarlane, time with damn things. So this they posted earlier. I was like, "Look how freaking cool that is!"
So what is this now?
This is just a strictly like a Dragons line that he's done some before.
Yeah, Mcfarlane's Dragons.
Yeah, and I think there's one version that's up on his toy store right now, but this is the one. This is here's a first look at, is it Cyberus, from the Berserker clan. So he's got a whole fantasy line that, I know he did some before, because I know like on one of the Mcfarlane pages, a lot of guys will post some of the original ones, and they're freaking cool as hell. But I know the one that they have on the Mcfarlane page is like a 14.5-inch, and they call them statues because they're obviously not posable. You know, there's no articulation. But either way, like these things are freaking badass. Like,
oh yeah.
I don't know how many of those you're going to see in public or in the wild, but man, that's one of those. I was like, oh geez, that might.
How big is it? Do you know?
Like I said, the one that they have on the toy store is 14.5 inches. So,
Holy
I don't.
shit!
I don't
Is that on the stand? Because I think
That's-
that one
I-
comes on a stand, doesn't it?
yeah, and I don't know. Wait. Da, da, da. Give me more Marlins.
And forgive me, guys, but I got about 5 more minutes, and I gotta get going. I'm sorry.
No, you are
That's okay.
good.
I gotta get ready for work. So
How
I'll make
dare
sure.
you.
I'll make sure I get you. Well, he's got a list up that I did for him. So we got a list.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. But yeah, so this is the Mcfarlane's Series 8. So there's already 7 series before this one. Description. So it's a 13.5-inch statue. So I'm assuming, I don't know if it goes up to the tippy top of the wing there, but so
If
yeah,
it's
so
affordable, I might get that for my.
it's $40. So however $40 that is for you. All right,
Yeah.
yeah, let's get to your guys' list. So
All right, Jay. How much time did you say you had?
I got 5 minutes, 10 at the most. How's that sound?
Okay, because you'll have to drive this one. That's all. So
Oh, okay.
let me share my screen. Click. Sharing now. Jason's list.
Well, go ahead and tell everybody how this started.
Okay, so this is a list of action figures we would like to see made. The only rule is they can't be made yet, or they have to be made improved upon for the adult collector. And this is Jason's first pick for SH Figure Arts, a movie called Deep Star 6. So, Jay, I tried to get a good picture of the monster here, and I got the movie poster for you. So why don't you elaborate a little bit on what this is about? This looks like it's a pretty good sci-fi gory movie.
It is. It's a cool sci-fi gory movie. Basically, it's in that era where we decided we were going to have all kinds of deep sea horror movies. But this was the first one of them out, and they were kind of the only one that just basically did instead of doing an alien or like some kind of like ghost or mythical thing, they did like a giant sea creature, and it was almost like a giant lobster or something like that. But I just thought it was really cool, and especially like the movie poster there. The movie poster to me was awesome, and you actually get to see that in the movie where it comes up and takes a diver in half like that. So
That's crazy.
it was a kind of neat, corny movie for the time, horror movie. It was fun. It was campy, but I would love to see figures from it. To me, that would be kind of cool.
Okay, so there was a reason we chose SH Figure Arts for these guys because we chose NECA. Oh, this is I'm sorry, I apologize. Here's
That's the monster.
This is the monster. I forgot I gave an extra slide for this. So this is another picture of the monster, which is something I love because I think practical effects are at a loss, in this day and age. I think that CGI should serve a purpose to enhance them. I think we kind of abuse CGI a bit. So I love this. I love it. It. But NECA, Quentin Tarantino movies, and I think you start with Pulp Fiction.
Oh,
so
yeah, I agree.
Here's a couple of 2-packs right here. 1 2-pack, and here's another 2-pack.
For sure.
And then you definitely got to do the, Christopher Walken's character. Here goes Bruce Willis, and of course the lovely Uma Thurman. So, I mean, fellas, anyone jump in, talk about Pulp Fiction.
Didn't they do? Who did the with Michael Madsen cutting the cop's ear off? Didn't they do
Reservoir Dogs?
Yeah, yeah. I'm sorry to get my Tarantino mixed up, but yeah. How's there not been a 2-pack of Tarantino and Samuel L. Jackson? Like, seriously.
And honestly, I don't know, but NECA's been doing such a great job on movie figures. To me, it just makes sense. I mean, and I would love. Adam and I were talking. My big one too would be Hateful Eight. I would love to see those movie characters, just because you can do so much, and just the clothing and stuff like that was cool as hell. So
yeah, they lend themselves to action figures. But if NECA did this line, and did Pulp Fiction, I'm all in. Yeah, I'm all in. I'd have to collect it. Next one up is a video game by McFarlane toys we would like to see made. Got a little McFarlane watermark here, a little gold label this year called Prototype. Now, I'm not familiar with this game, but I tried to pick some of the best graphics I could find. Go ahead and let the folks at home know what this is.
It's a free world game, kind of like Spider-Man, Web of Shadows, all those. And it's a free world game. You roam around the free world, and then you do certain missions. When you do that stuff, you get more towards your special powers or your special ability. You're basically infused with this stuff. I don't know. I don't remember if it's nanobots or something like that, but you can make weapons out of any of your appendages. I mean, you can start shooting stuff. It's really, really cool. It was a really cool game, and I think McFarlane could go crazy with these figures. It would be cool.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised he hasn't even they haven't made yet.
I mean,
I think somebody tried it one time, but they didn't. They only made like a couple, and it just never really took off. That's the only reason we did this one, because they never really took off the what figures we could find. But I think they're actually statues, not figures.
Right.
All right. So on our next slide, we got Marvel Legends doing A-Bomb or Rick Jones, right? Rick Jones, right?
Yeah.
I almost said Rick James. I was like, wow. So
Rick James, bitch.
I didn't even know A-Bomb was a thing. You just taught me about him now. He does look cool. You're right. He has a little bit of an armadillo aesthetic to him. Take us away and let us know why do we want A-Bomb?
So again, I don't know the exact storyline behind A-Bomb, but A-Bomb is really cool. Rick Jones ended up getting gamma infused, and A-Bomb is what he turned into. His powers are really cool. He can turn invisible for some reason. And the other part of that is he turns into basically a spiked armadillo ball, and Hulk will throw him and destroy all kinds of shit with him.
Oh, that's cool.
So
weaponize your friends. I love it.
Yep, pretty much. So there's one of the TV shows, or one of the animated TV shows was Agents of Smash. Hulk and the Agents of Smash. It's on Disney Plus right now, streaming, but that's where he's big on, is from that show. He's basically a regular character in that show.
See, I think it's perfect we went with a Marvel Legends choice with it then, because you probably have a lot of like adults who like that show that collect Marvel Legends would be like, he would really complete this little posse I've got going on right now if I just had him in a Marvel Legends form. So yeah.
And that's why I say that show actually introduced some really cool stuff, like Red Hulk's a regular character on there, She-Hulk, and at one point they introduced Claw. They had Hulk turn into Claw. So, which I don't know if you guys know what Claw is.
I do not.
So basically, Hulk, like anyone else, how Banner has his breaking point and he turns into the Hulk.
Sure.
Well, Hulk has his breaking point and he turns into someone called Claw. It's basically his name spelled backwards.
So the Hulk turns into a Hulk?
Yeah, a giant Hulk.
Wow. All right.
I never read the comic book, but I knew about it. So
yeah, I didn't know that. I'm glad that Disney hasn't gotten their dirty little mitts on that. Nick, I have good news for you. We haven't talked about it on this show. The head executives over at Disney have ordered the Star Wars department to quit announcing future projects.
Yeah, I know, because they keep announcing a bunch of shit that never gets made.
Yeah.
Nice.
So that's a new mandate.
That's
it.
it.
So that was the list. I put together. That was Jason. He gave me 4 different lists with 5 characters, or 5, and I took number 1 from each and did a top 4.
Yeah,
so
it was cool. Thank you. That was awesome.
No, man. Jay. Thank you for doing it.
Oh, it was fun.
So
cool. I gotta get going, man.
All right, man.
Sorry.
Love you, brother. Have a good one.
All right, love you. Take care. Thank you, guys. Thanks for having me. I love being on here, guys.
Anytime, Jay. Thank you, sir.
All right.
All right. Take care. We'll see you. Bye.
And then there were 2.
So, did you want to see my list of figures I wish were made?
No.
All right, great.
No.
I'll show it to you. Anyway, I'm going to share this screen. Hang on. All right, folks at home, you all know how I'm Black Canary crazy, so I got reasonable here with this. This isn't. I really.
I'll be at the corner. Feel like I'm gonna make it reasonable.
I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say I was not as three-dimensional as Jason was, and Patrick also helped him compile that list. Patrick is Jason's son, my nephew, and he has been on the show. Mine are all Mcfarlane toys because that's all I thought about. So what I would like from Mcfarlane Toys is a proper Black Canary. This is the Black Canary aesthetic from Injustice, Injustice 2. Now we've got a Dr. Fate, we got a couple Injustice figures, a Batman, we got Oliver Queen, of course, so the Green Arrow. So we would need Black Canary. So I wanted to be reasonable with this and say, I could probably get this one. Todd, please make this one. Now the one that I want would be a Neil Adams look. Neil Adams take right here on Black Canary. I like the jean jacket. Rebirth incorporated a jean jacket. So this is another version. This is an updated version based off of Neil Adams, but her jean jacket's black, which would be fine. But I mean, if I really hit, either this Rebirth or this straight up classic Neil Adams would be what I would like for a Black Canary figure. And it hasn't been made. So please, Todd, hear me out, sir, and do it. Next, Arsenal. I gotta have, I guess we're staying within the Arrow family here for a minute, but I really like this character. This character's got some deep cuts in the DC lexicon. First of all, he starts out as Speedy, the first sidekick to Green Arrow, which, there's Batman and Robin, there's Speedy, and
not just because he does it, and not just because he does drugs.
Well, he doesn't do drugs. He's actually a recovering alcoholic now in the modern continuity. His sponsor in recovery is Killer Croc. And so they have a sponsor-sponsee relationship. They do nail this character pretty well for being in recovery, and what I like about it is that the Red Hood says this guy, if he wants to, he can do all of this and that and this, but in just some reasons he's just not there. And he is, and he's carefree. He has to work on the things that bother him. But he works on the things that bother him, and he's just so carefree, where you see him as Red Arrow before he ever hits rock bottom, and he's not carefree. He's a prick. I mean, he's so different than what he becomes as Arsenal. I like him. He's got his tattoos showing. He's in his red outfit, but he's wearing a stupid baseball cap. This is a figure I want to see when it comes to Arsenal. Number 3, I need a non-Arkham game-related Two-Face. Okay, I want to see a classic type Two-Face. I don't mind if you change the color of the suit to make it more of say 1980s, 1990s look for the character. That would be great, but they don't. I personally, I have a proper Two-Face. I should have showed him off. I just bought him recently at our friend Sergeant Red's. He's from the Long Halloween / Dark Victory line. It's a beautiful figure. Actually, maybe I'll go get him before the show's over. But he's not in the Mcfarlane DC Multiverse scale, which is like my jam, man. There's a reason Masters of the Universe action figures aren't on this list, and that's because Mattel is just going to be doing them. Looks like right now, between now and at least 2024, we're moving forward. So, but I'm always left with like a certain kind of uncertainty when it comes to DC Multiverse, because literally it's the multiverse. You never know what you're going to get with this. So we got a million Batmans, we got a few Supermans. We got a million Supermans, a million Batmans. We got a couple Robins. I mean, let's see a Two-Face. You know what I mean? We got 1,000 Jokers. That being said, taking it to the next classic figure I'd like to see is Firestorm. I want to see the classic version first. I'd like to see later on down the road the Washington Jefferson figure. But this is the guy, Ronnie Raymond is his name, and of course he fuses with Dr. Stone or Sloan. I'm not gonna say his name right. I got it. Victor Garber played him in Legends of Tomorrow. But long story short, the Doctor does merge with Ronnie Raymond, and he does merge with Jefferson. So essentially, it's a 3-part character in a way. But I want to see the original first, and then give us the rebirth version, whatever. That would be great. I could have one for each playset. That wouldn't bother me at all. Last but not least, let's get a proper Riddler going, kids. Come on now, that'll help catapult my rogues gallery to the as the great Buzz Lightyear once said, almost infinity and beyond. Not quite to infinity and beyond, but almost to infinity and beyond. So yeah, these are my list of figures I wish would be made. Why, thank you, sir. Where does he get those wonderful toys? You know what's cool about this, man? You can catch stuff. Like, you just really light stuff, you can reel it in.
You're telling me it's a fully functioning grappling hook?
It's just very, very plastic, but yes. And it's NECA, so you want to make sure you take care of it.
And if you don't actually want to just have it sitting on your shelf, the cats love to play with it.
It's funny, my one cat, Booster, so I'm playing with Kitka, and she's jumping, having fun. Booster's watching it. So I turn it on Booster, and I shoot him. It bounces off of him, and he looks at me like, that's not fun. That's stupid. Yeah, that's stupid. And she's just a baby anyway. And he walks away. That's what I think of when I see him. Anyways, that's being a cat dad, day one. A day in the life of.
Cat dad life.
So now there's one more list when you're ready, but I don't know where you want to go now. So
it's getting pretty late. Why don't we wrap it up and we'll save our list for
great
next time. So
yeah, it's a year-end list anyway.
Yeah, so we got a little bit of year left. So but yeah, so I want to thank Jay for coming on tonight, talking about Black Adam. Hope you guys enjoyed.
Sir.
And yeah, tell us what you think in the comment section, or hit us up on Facebook and Instagram. That's where you can get in just regular contact with us, because we're pretty regular on posting there. And if you just want to see what's coming up on the next episode, go check us out on the Escape with Nick and Adam on Facebook and Instagram. And if you have not subscribed to the YouTube channel yet, please do so. We like to stream on a regular basis, and we try and upload either toy reviews, comic reviews when we can, but it's usually just streaming, talking about news and nerdy stuff. So if you are a podcast listener, we are on all the major podcast platforms. Go check us out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Audible, and Google Podcasts. So other than that, Adam, anything else you want to add, sir?
The Daily Planet criticizing someone who thinks they're above the law is a little hypocritical, don't you think? Considering every time your hero saves a cat out of a tree, they write a puff piece about an alien. You could burn the whole place down if you wanted to. There's not a damn thing anyone could do about it. Maybe it's just the Gotham City and me. We got a problem with freaks running around dressed like clowns. Clowns! Good night, Planet Houston.
Good night, America.